All right, let's get some analysis then. We are now joined via Zoom by Dr. Westen Shilaho, research specialist in African diplomacy and foreign policy at the University of Johannesburg. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks so very much for joining us on SABC News.
Good afternoon, Flo.
Let's start by talking about the piece you've written titled How Kenya's New President Took on Powerful Political Dynasties, is what you titled it. You seem to praise the new president, William Ruto. Talk to us about your thoughts on the deputy president, soon to be president. You speak of Ruto successfully reinventing himself, for example.
Well, I look at Ruto's victory in the just concluded Kenya's elections as historical, because he's the first candidate outside of the political axis that has led Kenya since 1963 to date to make it to the presidency on his own terms. So he has successfully reshaped the conversation about elections and politics in Kenya by accenting class contradictions in Kenya, centering issues affecting the marginalized, the poor, women in the marketplaces, businessmen and women in small and medium enterprises, poverty, inequalities, farmers, and the issues that afflict the majority of Kenyans. And I think that is what has propelled him into power, as opposed to previously when people canvassed for political support along ethnic fault lines.
Yeah. You write briefly about the disruptions which delayed the declaration of the results yesterday. What were your initial thoughts on those disruptions, particularly the walking out of the four commissioners? And might there then, on the back of that, be a question raised about the legitimacy of the results, given the fact that we had these commissioners who essentially broke rank?
Well, that is regrettable. It's extremely regrettable, especially in the light of a process that was largely seen to be incident-free, above board, carried out with unprecedented integrity and professionalism. Both are judged as such, both by local and international observers. That was regrettable. But I did not find it surprising, because there had been a campaign of vilification of the electoral body, specifically by agents of the state. So it was just a matter of when, not if, something of that nature would happen. And Kenyans are asking, why is it that those four commissioners decided to walk out just before the results were announced? Why didn't they raise their issues in the course of the tallying of the presidential votes? So it is suspect. Secondly, their press conference coincided with the electoral chairs, just when he was about to announce the presidential results. That coincidence was a little bit curious. And they've gone ahead and really made all sorts of allegations about votes not really adding up, but there hasn't been any substantive evidence to that effect. And therefore, Kenyans who are desirous of stability and a government that will help them overcome their pressing needs are accusing these four commissioners of acting at the behest of individuals who are hell-bent on sabotaging democracy, the rule of law, and stability in the country. Yeah. And I concur with them.
Dr. Westen, let's talk about the incumbent then. Uhuru Kenyatta must, at this point, have egg on his face, given the fact that A, he bet on a losing horse. B, he's to be replaced by the same deputy president that he didn't actually support. What are your thoughts on Uhuru Kenyatta at this point?
I think he has diminished the presidency in Kenya. He's completely desecrated the office of the president. Because the kind of politics that he has engaged in the run-up to these elections are unbecoming of a statesman. He's been a divisive figure. overtly taking sides and engaging in exchanges with this deputy publicly, including completely refusing to shake his hand publicly. That's not what is supposed to portray as a symbol of national unity. So he leaves office just the way he came into office, discredited, without legitimacy, and having presided over a divisive society and a divisive political system. He leaves office as one president who is leaving a huge debt for Kenyans, who is leaving Kenyans in the throes of poverty and inequalities. He leaves office as a president who, distinguished himself as someone who did not have room for the rule of law. He's ignored lots of court orders. And he leaves office as someone who tried to entrench ethnicity in Kenyan politics. And therefore, Kenyans have repudiated him by voting for William Ruto. They have repudiated him and are making a statement that they are not going to entertain that kind of politics, the politics of retrogression and backwardness.
All right, thanks very much, Dr. Westen Shilaho, research specialist at the University of Johannesburg, commenting on the Kenyan elections and, of course, those results that have come out. Thanks very much to you, sir. And that's it from me, Flo Ledwaba.